Hello and welcome to episode, 12 of Football Manager 2020. Trying a new thing and jumping in after the load screen, so there won't be these awkward pauses at the start where I'm stalling trying to remember what's going on. Without my cheat sheet here. Today we're going to be gutting our way to the mid-season break with our final Premiership match against Palakwene, who are generally pretty easy and, despite an early season surge, have fallen back down to their normal position of around 12th. And then we have an actually challenging African match, both of which we're going to be fairly depleted for because we sent a bunch of players out for rest because they were just getting too tired. And to make the Palakwene match even more difficult, I'm just noticing something that I haven't received formal notification of yet, but apparently both Margeman and Williams are suspended because of yellow card accumulation. So making a team for Palakwene could be a little bit of an adventure. But we're in a really good position coming into the halftime break. Usually, even when I win the league, I'm not this well positioned at this point. So, even though I don't think Orlando is catchable, this season's going very well. He's not that exciting, but he can come in. Oh no, I can't get him as a transfer target. Never mind. That's just as well. He's only a 54 to bring in. I'm pretty alright with not bringing him in. This just means that Tuck's heading offside. They put it as a controversy. That's really just them acknowledging that football fans will complain about anything. Like, that was a pretty blatant offside in this case. You don't see it every time there's an offside goal disallowed, but it's not actually an indication that the ref made a bad call. It's just something they show when it's somewhat close to acknowledge that guaranteed fans would have been complaining that that was disallowed, especially where it lost them the game. Here's the official notification that Margeman and William are banned for the next match. I kind of wish I had gotten this before I sent a bunch of people on rest. Probably would have done it anyway, but it would have been nice to know. Nothing too interesting here. You can see, like, Makwakwina never really got how they improved late in the game, but for a lot of the game we were struggling because we were tired and not in it. And Makwakwina got subbed before he got a chance to get motivated. But the rest of the team actually rallied to a decent performance in the end. We were very heavily up the left wing. But that's good. That's kind of the way I've got the team built, is to heavily punish the left wing. When I started the season, I thought it was going to be the right, but right wing's been very disappointing, while the left wing has been performing above anticipated ratings pretty much all season. Sundowns have managed to rally past us with a game in hand, so it's not quite as good a position as I hoped to be in at this point. A couple of teams are having really strong seasons. But that's alright. I'd like to get second, but the board only wants top half of the table, and I think it's going to be very hard for me to lose that at this point unless I don't win a single match all second half. And the second half is not nearly as brutal as the first half. pretty decent week. We actually have a chance to work on some fundamentals for the team again. Cape Town are making a try for this guy. That's fine. I'm still trying, but oh, what's Human complaining about? Oh, because Fountain might be transferred. Why are you upset? We never play him. I didn't even remember he was on the team. Oh, it's because I'm trying to bring Human in. He was complaining about that earlier, that's right. And both times Margeman has managed to talk him down from the ledge. Pelakwane have actually managed to move up a position since their last, or since we started to save as well. That may actually work in our advantage because that means they're going to be more tired than we are. Let's see what sort of team can I even put together for this. Other than McFarlane in from Mabule, which isn't a terrible sub, pretty good actually. We'll see how it looks when I go into tactics and get everyone playing the way I want them to. But this is not terrible. Our central defense is really rough, but otherwise shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully this game will be mostly played in the attacking half of the field. See, Adams not ideal, but not terrible. Mirosavic's not ideal, but not terrible. Melula is well below where I want starting a match, but we knew this position was going to be a problem. And Senamela is not great next to him. So this is the sector of the pitch that I'm really worried about. And then we've got McFarlane, who's not very good, in my key attacking position. So this might be a draw. I'll be okay with a draw given this. But we'll see. We might have some fresher players I can stick in closer to the match. I don't think there's a better lineup than that I could change it to without taking people off rest that I've given them. Pelakwane doesn't have much of a chance against us, so don't love going into these matches with a weak team, but if I have to, these are the teams I want to be doing it against. So despite the clumped nature of the schedule this year, it's been relatively kind to me with me getting weak matches or weak opposition when I don't have a strong team. Boshoff, who used to be my starting goaltender for years, is looking to move on to Jomo Cosmos. I'm quite alright with that because things are in a bad state if I have to play Boshoff at this point. He wasn't a very good goaltender. When I started this save, I had no good goaltenders. He carried me for a couple of years and performed well above his rating. But he's not good enough that I think I'll ever bring him back in. Galaxy are trying to take Matembu, who is 21 and only plays for the reserves, so I don't really care. That'll get some money off the books. Try to get him to play down the middle with our weak winger in the form of McFarlane. That's probably for the best. They won't do it. They're going to play out to the wings anyway. I've been training them all season to play out to the wings. Telling them to play in through the middle now is not going to change habits of an entire season. But I'm going to try to get them to pass to McFarlane a little less so they can't balls it up. This is probably the worst squad I'm going to play all season, but outside of maybe some friendlies, but what are you going to do? Everyone's tired, key players are suspended, and it's Blockwane. It's the time to do it if ever there is one. Oh, good. Torre has completed the language course, so he can actually speak English now. That'll help. And the Shangasi pulled a bunch of knee ligaments. I've started him I've brought him off the bench once, so I don't really care. This is a problem for the under-19s. It says he's an Amazulu player, but I just keep sending him to the under-19s. He's not good enough to actually start for the main team. You can see how good we do against Blockwane. I've never lost to them. They have a good pitch. Not much of a turnout at all. Wet and breezy, that's going to be a little suboptimal. But, hey. Ooh, a lot of players are not available because they played with the under-19s. So bring Foster in, finish Shobeni. And Torre. Yeah, this is definitely the worst team I've started. Should have paid more attention to who was allowed to play with the under-19s. I thought the game was tomorrow. So Foster's not great. Mirsavic's not great. Melula's terrible. Senamela's terrible. McFarlane's terrible. Shobeni's terrible. And Torre is not great. This is going to be an interesting match. This is a really weak squad we're starting. I've got some power on the bench. I've got Mitenjwa, I've got Traore, I've got Sammy Seaby, who's actually decent, although I never play him. Mabule is there, but very tired, which is why he's not starting, but I can bring him in for McFarlane for a few minutes and try to make something happen late if we're not way behind. This is going to be a rough one, but I do think it's at least drawable. I don't think we're going to lose here. I just seem to have Plakwane's number. I'm really not worried. Most of those draws I have with them are 0-0 draws, so basically if I can score, I can beat them. And most of those 0-0 draws came about because we just couldn't hit the target, not because they were actually defending well. Erickson got a yellow. That's not ideal this early in the match. There we go. Oh, no, Torre was offside. I wasn't looking, but I was thinking that was an awful easy goal, but of course Torre was... See, where was he when that was passed? Oh, just barely offside. No wonder I didn't notice. Still, this bad a squad, and it's 3 shots to nothing. And 71% possession for us. This is why I wasn't that worried, even bringing in a really weak team. They're actually making something happen here. And just like that, Mirosavic broke it up briefly, but they maintained control. We're forcing them back, though. Fisher's under a ton of pressure, and Torrey came away with the ball. Good goaltending on their part. Torrey took that shot too early, but he's drawn us a corner, which is going to be our most likely method of scoring in this game, I think, is on a set play where we can just crowd a whole bunch of bodies into the box. That was, I think, a mistake from Walker. He should have taken that in. He had a very good opportunity for a goal there. And instead, he's given an opportunity to Plakone. But this is what happens when I have a lot of bad players that never get starts. They're not super familiar with the formation. They make poor decisions. And then we go down a goal. That was a rough goal to Morris, but they deserve that. We're playing poorly here. I think our fans had a sense that this was going to happen because no traveling fans. Usually we have quite a strong contingent, but they did not show up today. I mean, league positioning wise, I'm perfectly okay with losing this game. I just don't want to lose to Pelakwane. Walker's drawn a penalty to us, so we can tie it up and go into the second half on a clean slate. It was Walker's 12th of the season. And so we're going to go into the half with a clean slate, and then I'll be able to bring in some of the stronger players who are tired for the second half. I still feel pretty good about this match. I mean, I'm not happy with how they're performing because they're not up to Amazula's standards, but they're bad players, so I understand that. I'm not going to tell them that because I expect them to play at Amazula's standards, but yeah, given the team I named for this match, they are actually playing about the way I expected. That's a risky free kick. But Nidlavu does Nidlavu things and controls it. They can smell blood in the water. They're pressuring us a lot more than is usual for Pelakwane. And of course, we're trying to play up the left wing through McFarlane. Which doesn't lead to great results because McFarlane isn't very good. I'm going to have to make some subs soon, I think, to try to make something start up because we're giving them opportunities they shouldn't be getting. Even with a weak team, like, they should not be getting these opportunities on us. But we're almost up to our first sub. Safema has been taking a knock, but it's just a cut hand. So he should be fine. He might miss the trip or the next match, but no one is so tired that I feel the need to sub them. But Eriksson is playing really badly, so I wanted to bring in someone for McFarlane, but I think I need to sub Eriksson first, so I'm going to bring in Human. Actually get him those minutes he was complaining that he doesn't get, or wouldn't get with new transfers. especially with the injured human, or Safema rather. I want to have fresh legs in there. I mean, human's not good. It's another 2-star player, but he's fresh and no one else is, so that'll count for a lot. And human immediately draws a yellow card. This ref's pretty free with yellow cards, though. I mean, that's the 6th of the match. Let's see, what changes do I want to make? Shobeni is due to come off. Torre is due to come off. Because they're not playing well. I still want to get McFarlane out, and Safema's hurt. But he's playing one of the better players on the team. I think I gotta get Shobeni out. I got lots of options for him, at least. Lots of people can play his position mediocrely. So I'm going to bring on Manaka. If they listen to me, they're supposed to be playing through his position. He's not very comfortable there, but oh, he is not good. Yeah, like I said, lots of people are really bad at that position. But once again, I'm hoping fresh legs make something happen. When I was saying the team doesn't have depth, this is what I was meaning. But that looked pretty nice up to Manaka. He actually, well, he made a bad decision there, but he looked pretty good in the doing. If they could make good decisions, we'd be in real trouble right now because our team is rough. But they seem to be just lobbing it up the pitch, and quite often there's no one up where it's going, other than our players. Torrey got a nice header there, but it was a little high. Still, it's nice to see us keeping the pressure on again. Let's see, final sub. Torre is playing like garbage, so it looks like I'm not going to get to make that change for McFarlane that I wanted to. I just have to replace the poor players. So it's going to be Traore coming in, because these people aren't playing up to the standards I expect from them today. Traore is at least fairly comfortable. He's still below where I want, but he's going to be fresh. He's not awful. And that might be enough. They're bringing in a fullback to try to counter him. I think we're going to go to a draw, though. Looks like nothing's going to happen for the last 10 minutes. Like I said, coming in, I'm alright with a draw. Oh, we might steal this at the close. Or we might not. We might make bad plays, but not too worried with Brian Ndlovu in there. He's a fantastic goaltender. And they're not good strikers. We're just trying to run out the clock. We know our team sucks. I'm actually really happy with them. I brought hot garbage here. I knew that, and we still managed to save things. Michele made his. That's for them, I think. Torrey made his 100th career league appearance, and Traore made his 25th career league appearance for us. So that's good. I mean, given the circumstance, like I said, I was happy to come away with a draw here. I just didn't want to lose, and we didn't. Told them they weren't good enough because we should have been able to beat them, but we didn't lose any ground there. We played our 15 matches. We're into the half-season break with a comfortable 31 points. Sundowns can get a bit of a lead on us. They're the only one. They can get up to 37 points and tie with Pirates. So we'll have to see what we can do coming back from break. But we'll have a much fresher team. For gutting it out to the finish, things went pretty well here. Ooh, Supersport just bodied Golden Arrows. Mirosavic got suspended. That's the problem. We've had that ref that gives out a ton of yellow cards. A lot this year, which has been rough because we've gotten suspensions, but suspensions aren't the worst. Ooh, our goaltender's in contention for African Young Player of the Year. Nice. He does deserve to win it. He's saved our butts a couple of times. Same thing, offside. That was kind of close. So you know our fans are complaining, but yet it was a justified offside. It would have been really nice to get that goal and win the game, but he was offside. So now it's just a question of who do we get back for the Africa match. Because they're almost as good as us. You can see we struggled in this game. There were a lot of disappointing ratings there. We ended up focusing things up the right, which makes sense because that's where our better winger was. I mean, given the talent we brought, which is on me, that was a satisfactory performance. And we've got some good youngsters coming up in the next little while. I always ignore that agent stuff. I don't know what it actually does. I think there's probably stuff in there for the agents having different traits when they negotiate, but it doesn't really matter. We now have to pay Foster more money for making appearances for us. I knew that was coming. I was one game out with more than half the season to go. It was going to happen at some point. He's not my first choice, but I'm not trying to keep him from appearing or anything to save money. I mean, clearly I'm not trying to save money when we look at that graph, but a lot of that's because of changing in investment philosophies between the two management teams we've had with the club so far. Because, like we saw at the start of this season, I was struggling to save my job because of the new managers with different expectations. They also don't want to invest in the club the way the old managers were. So I had made a lot of hires expecting to have way more money than I actually had. We'll take Melula off the loan list and we'll send Sammy on the loan list. I don't really want to lose Sammy. He's not great, but for some reason I like him, but we'll stick him on the transfer list. I can't be sentimental. I need to get people off the books, and I'm not playing them. I don't love taking Melula off the loan list either. I don't think he's really ready to play at our level, but I just don't have enough bodies to not start him sometimes. Now, fortunately, we have access to some players here that we don't have in the Premiership because of different registration requirements. So, like Thea, Safema, for my little Adam. Don't love who they're suggesting for the defensive lines here. Our attacking side looks a lot stronger. But I don't love who they're suggesting for the defense. But we've still got a couple people out on rest, and the defenders we have are getting very tired. So I'm having to make some of these unpleasant decisions, like starting Safema as a central defender and putting Adam in on the left here, where he's not very good. Yes, Fema and Adam are both well below. This is still our problem area of the pitch. I've been trying to reinforce that for over a year without much luck, but somehow they think these guys are not remotely in our league. Let me check. No, their reputation's pretty good. Well, okay, I'm alright with playing against a team that's not remotely in our league right now, given how depleted we are. Let's switch back to balanced. I think our coaches think they're a lot more of a threat than the press does. 4 to 5 supporters. Can I make that happen? 1, 2, 3. Can Walker play support? Yes, he can. 4. There we go. It's good to have them on support. Try to keep the ball up earlier so we don't have to deal with our depleted defense. Motong got hurt. We're actually starting to stack up the bodies now, but they're not players that see much play, even though they're technically on the first team. He's only up for a day or two anyway. Nixella is a bigger hit. We got everyone will be back for the next match after the one we're playing tomorrow, so not a big worry. Neil Bossov's been sucking because I never play him. He's down to being considered an emergency backup at this point. And I think he saw that I was considering putting him on the transfer list. Now we wait while it saves. Sanaga's doing well in training and actually improving on pretty much everything that he can. Oh, unfortunately, he's taken a turn for the worse personality-wise. Chikwekwe is doing well in training. Oh, big boost to determination. That's nice to see because we struggle with determination. And he's having a positive uh, reaction to the character of the squad, so that's nice. We've been trying to get these Continental Pros for licenses for a while, and think we're finding the upper limit of our current coaching squad's ability. Yeah, like head of the youth development, not our coaching is not the most impressive. Poland wants a match with Canada in June. Yeah, I'll accept that. I always accept friendlies. Motung's already recovered from his injury. That's good. Not that I intend to use him, but Momad's in stellar form. And still grouchy about it. Can't do anything about that. So I can't scout the guy in South Africa, but the guy playing for Liverpool, sure, we'll go scout him. I mean, we will, but I think my board may have hired a lot of European scouts. Because a lot of these South African players, if I'm not already scouting them, I just can't get scouts to look at them. Although a lot of them have also just been recently scouted. They're still saying that a lot of the players are not that good in South Africa. And to get that, I mean, in an ideal world, we'd be able to move on from scouting South Africa since our team has grown beyond the average talent levels here. But with the cap on foreign players that I can play, I need to keep scouting South African competitions. Because I can't bring in all the good players that my scouts want to. Alright, okay pitch. Pretty good attendance. It's cold for Africa going into the summer, but pretty good weather, calm winds, that's good. Other than the pitch condition, everything's sitting up well for us here. And if we do pick up a couple of knocks, it's not the end of the world, because we are going into our break. And Mir Savjevic being rested enough to come in is a big boon to the team. This made a huge difference to the stats on the start. We still have Adam playing out of position, and that's going to be rough. But other than that, like, everyone else is all right. Mabule, like I've said, and every time I play him, he's underrated in the stars. Matthias, gonna have to keep an eye on him, and Foster we're gonna have to keep an eye on. I don't love that no one on the back line is at a level I'd really like, but they're the only problem spot. So if we can keep possession of the ball, but so the supporting in the earlier or in the more attacking ranks should make it possible. Hopefully we don't get bit by the weak team or weak defenses. And fortunately, even if we lose to these guys in the group, we'll get out of the group in second place. So that's fine. I'd like to dominate the tournament, but losing to Tuan here is not the end of the world. We play on a tiny pitch, too. That's going to be a problem for us. Wing play and tiny pitches do not get along well. Are we going to make it through an entire half without a highlight? No. I really don't like this pitch for us. This is a problem. It's so small. We are a team that needs space. Although the trade-off is, if they're used to playing on this tiny pitch, they're really going to struggle when they come face us in a couple of weeks. Because we've got a much larger pitch than this. And teams that are used to small pitches leave gaps in bigger pitches. But you can see how difficult it is for us to get the ball up through them when it's this close quarters. We're the better team here, but it's not as one-sided as our other African matches. By a long shot. That might be a penalty. I'm not sure if it was just in. Oh no, the ref didn't actually call anything on it. It looked like everything stopped there for a second, but I guess everyone was just confused by what was going on. And there was our bad defensive line at play. I will say this tiny pitch benefits our bad defensive line because there's less gaps they can leave due to bad play. And we're certainly trying to make something happen. Yeah, we're playing well even though we're not getting results. Like, the deck's pretty stacked against us with just the setup here. But we're playing well. I'm not unhappy with how the team's performing. I'm just hoping we can force something through as they get tired. Because we're dominating possession, we're dominating shots, but they're bad shots because they're able to just crowd in. And there's so little space, it's really hard for us to get the ball through them. Ooh, that was scary. Like, this is not a bad team. Oh, look, Walker is playing horrendously. Gotta get him off. I'm not even going to think about anyone else. It's just straight up, gotta replace Walker. You don't even have anyone good to go in for him, but putting Torre as an advanced forward up there. Don't love that, especially on the tight pitch. But I can't let someone who's only scoring a 6.3 stay in. I think he's just struggling because of the confines of this pitch, too. Because, like I said, this does not set up well for wing play. We play wing play a wing play style. Him not being able to make anything happen makes sense. You can see we're really struggling to get anything into the attacking third of the pitch. Wrote to Mabule, but he can't find any openings. Corners are best bet. Set pieces are the same on any scale pitch. But we didn't really commit to that set piece very well. Midlove was so good at just running into a crowd of people and pulling the ball down. Yeah, we're going to change to a more direct passing play, try to force something through here. Catch them off guard before they can completely crowd the box. Our short passing play is not working for this game. We're not very experienced at playing direct though, so we're going to start to see some errors creep in. Who do we change now? No one's playing badly, that's nice to see. No one's super tired. What do I have for Dlamini? Yeah, I think I'm going to change Dlamini for Tau. Just try to change up what's going on in the middle of the pitch a bit. It's rough with Torre pulled forward. Now we don't have as much defensive covering for Adam and Mirosavic, so we're a little vulnerable in that corner, but which they took advantage of here. But I just had to get Walker off the pitch. He was playing so badly. They're desperately parking the bus. But they've got to cover Mbule, which is potentially a huge mistake for them if he'll actually take an act. My wingers are really not comfortable in this small pitch. And Ben Solmene is doing fantastic in goal. Alright, Mirosavic's getting pretty tired, as is Mattia. Of course, they're my two best players on the pitch. I don't think I want to pull either one of them. I know I do not have... Like, if I was hypothetically going to pull Mirosavic, best I've got is Fema, which forces me to change it around. Mattia forces same thing. So I think I'm just going to have to force them to gut it out. I mean, it's the last game before the break. I think I'm going to get rid of McQuaquin and try to make something happen up front. I'm going to bring in Stefan D. He needs some... I need a chance to get a look at him. He's technically an advanced midfielder. Oof, he's not very good up front, but might be a weird look. They're probably prepared for Traore, was what I was thinking. And so I want to bring out someone different that they're not used to seeing. Because we've been getting a lot of games televised this year. They've probably got some tape on us. And I want someone who plays different than McBuckwana, because he clearly hasn't been able to make anything happen all night. D immediately gets a shot on goal when I bring him in. Wow, that was bad for them. I was really worried there, but they got too cute with it and then it blew up in their face. So a couple of unexciting draws to finish out the half of the season, but not the worst. Mirosavic made his 275th appearance. Eriksson made his 150th. Lamini made his 50th, and Walker made his 125th. So we had some veterans out there. We played mostly well this game. It was a pitch that was horribly against us. And they kept fouling us, yeah. Not even anything interesting. I'm actually going to take a look at the highlights just because I want to see a little bit more about what actually was going on. We got very few highlights in the overhead and nothing animated. You can see how small this pitch is. Like, everything's really close in. I guess there just weren't many. We're already up to 34 minutes. There's been like 2 highlights. That was that clutch save from Nedlovo. It really speaks to how badly we were set up for this particular pitch, with the fact that every single highlight has been for them. We dominated possession, but we couldn't do anything because they just parked the bus whenever we had the ball on. All of a sudden, we're trying to force our way through tiny little gaps to get a shot on goal. Whereas we had the weak defense that when they did get the ball, they could power through pretty easily. And yeah, our only highlight was the D attack right at the end. So I don't feel horrible bringing him in for the last 10 minutes. I mean, drawing this match is fine. We'll still probably win this in the return leg, and overall on the league table we should be fine. Eriksson and Mirosavic, they think could use a rest. Alright, I'm fine with that. Take them out of training for a week, let them get some rest. Even though I have this long spell before the next match, it's good to actually give them the rest, because it takes them out of training as well, so you don't continue to exhaust them with training while they're trying to recover. So anyway, that was a fairly or uh, uneventful segment of this season. But next time should be a really important one. Why am I clicking on tactics instead of schedule? We've got the winter transfer window opening up. Or I guess it's the summer transfer window for us, winter for them. All of January will just fly by. Let's actually check if we have any Canada games in there. No, we don't have any Canada games until March, so January will fly by. But I do want to show it because we've got the transfer window where I'm going to try to unload a lot of players and open up some funds for us. And then start of February, we've got Sundowns, who are second in the league. So that's going to be a challenge. They're actually considered better than us, because we are only a 3-star club. They're 3.5 stars. Like, they've improved a lot. And then we've got an away match. All our African away matches are clumped right up. We've got an away match against Fiero Vieira, the Beira, the team from Mozambique. So we'll be going to Mozambique to bully these guys again, but probably not quite as badly as we did at home. And that'll take us right through to the middle of February. So it's going to be a big recording next time. And hopefully you'll join me. For now, have a good day, everyone, and thanks for watching.